Koisimi Rudolph is originally from Pohnpei and has been a resident of Guam for over 2 decades. He teaches art and is the president of the nonprofit FSM Church Leaders Association of Guam. He also supports Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz's efforts relative to enforcing deportation laws under the Compacts of Free Association.
I think everybody that has committed a crime that fits into the category of deportation, we should follow through with it and implement the law.
Under COFA, habitual residents are subject to removal if they have not been self-supporting for more than 60 days, have fraudulently received unauthorized public benefits, or are subject to removal under immigration laws. It's these very laws that Cruz has said the feds were unaware they could even enforce, which came as a shock to Rudolph.
I don't seem to agree very much in the fact that they say they were not aware of it.
Cruz has stated that the uncompensated cost of hosting non-immigrant FAS residents evidently has become an increasing burden on Guam's public services and public safety. And while he doesn't have exact figures, Rudolph says he is aware of some non-immigrant FAS residents who are without a job, not going to school, or even homeless, some whom Rudolph says are even content with their current status.
I don't feel so good because they then become burdens to the government and other nonprofit organizations that are providing services. They become also further burdens to friends and families.
It also doesn't help that compact impact reimbursements have been an ongoing struggle between the federal government and Guam.
I think this is all politics and causes a lot of inappropriate rhetoric that get people disappointed. So I think the bottom line is the U.S. have to measure up to its shared responsibility of what it says in the compact.
He says many organizations, including his own, have since stepped up recently to ease the adverse impacts of crimes committed by the FAS communities, from tutoring to parenting training for those with parents who are incarcerated. Cruz, in the meantime, has since met with the governor's office drawing for support on the matter and even brought it to the attention of a recent congressional delegation on island to discuss the military buildup. Cruz says while the feds may not agree, COFA has everything to do with the entire foundation of the Pacific Pivot.
You're going to be spending billions on all kinds of other things, but you also have to think about spending the hundreds of millions, if not billions, in reimbursing those of us that have undertaken the responsibility and the burden of supporting this very integral part of the Pacific Pivot policy.
Cruz hopes to send more information to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement that would include hopefully a letter from the governor, a letter from 2011 by a Hawaii congressional delegation raising concern on the compacts, and data from the Homeless Coalition count. And while the feds haven't been too responsive, Cruz says, especially in light of recent events, he's not giving up.
I'm like a pit bull. Once I bite onto your leg, I ain't letting go. I want to know, and I'll keep writing and writing until I get some kind of action or some answer, or told to go jump off the Mariana Trench, whatever. I'm going to keep pushing on it.
Rudolph, meanwhile, hopes he can aid island leaders in working on positive solutions.
We need to look at a way to network together with our economy. We need to look at coming together as nations in this part of the Pacific.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintanilla.